Man, I'll never forget that night. The hospital smelled like bleach mixed with fear, and the beep of machines felt like it was counting down my life. My daughter stood there, barely a shadow in the dim light, staring at him, my brother lying there pale as paper, hooked up to every machine the ICU had. I was drained, heart pounding, thinking maybe tomorrow wouldn't come. But then I heard it, a whisper. If he dies soon, it's better. I froze. My daughter? Saying that to me? My chest tightened like someone was squeezing it. But I had to know if I heard it right. And that's when I paused, took a breath and thought, yo, I need to ask you guys something. Where are you watching from right now? Drop your city in the comments. And hey, if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss these crazy stories. Also, tell me, which part of this story grabs you the most so far? Back to the story. I looked at her and damn, those eyes cold, sharp, like she'd already decided something. I couldn't even wrap my head around. My brain screamed, say something, but my throat wouldn't move. I just stood there staring, feeling a mix of fear and disbelief crash over me like a tidal wave. This wasn't normal. Something had snapped in my kid, and deep down, I knew my life was about to get flipped upside down. I couldn't shake that whisper. It kept looping in my head like some broken-ass record. If he dies soon, it's better. I mean, what the hell, right? My kid, my flesh and blood, saying something like that about her own uncle lying there fighting for his life. My stomach turned and I felt that creeping panic sliding down my spine. I tried to act normal, but damn, it was impossible. I glanced at her again, eyes dead serious. Not a hint of guilt. There was this weird calm about her, like she had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her head. And I knew right then, whatever was going on, she wasn't just spitting words. She meant it. I needed answers fast. Hey, what do you mean by that? I asked, my voice shaking just a notch, trying to keep it steady. But she shrugged like it was no big deal, like I was overreacting. And bro, that's when my gut screamed louder than my brain. Something seriously off here. I paced the room, trying to figure out if I missed signs along the way. And that's when the nurse popped in with her clipboard, giving me that look, the one that said, I know more than you think. I realized then, man, this wasn't just about the whisper. This was the tip of an iceberg. And I was standing right on the edge, blind to everything beneath the surface. Damn, seeing him lying there like that was breaking me in ways I didn't even know existed. My brother, usually so strong, hooked up to machines, gasping for every breath like it was a battle he wasn't winning. And there I was, feeling completely helpless, like my hands were tied and my heart had been ripped out. I kept glancing at my daughter, trying to read her face, hoping for a flicker of normalcy. But nope, nothing. Cold, sharp, like ice sliding down my spine. I wanted to scream, how could you say that? But I swallowed it down. Deep breaths, man, deep breaths. And that's when the reality hit me. This wasn't just a hospital drama. This was real life, and my kid was saying shit I never thought I'd hear. I could feel rage mixing with fear boiling in my chest. I needed answers, but I didn't know if I was ready for what I might hear. Yo, quick pause real quick. If you're watching right now, comment below how you'd react if your own kid said something like this. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you catch all these insane stories we drop. Also tell me, do you like these hospital suspense stories or the straight-up true life drama stuff? Back to the story. I walked closer, trying to bridge the gap between us, my mind spinning. There was something bigger here, something she wasn't telling me. And deep down, I knew this night was about to change everything. Nothing would ever be the same again. Man, looking back now, I realize I missed all the signs. Little things I brushed off thinking she was just being a teenager or stressed out. But damn, hindsight's a cruel bitch. That whisper in the ICU? It wasn't random. It was the tip of a damn iceberg I didn't even know existed. I kept replaying moments in my head, her weird moods. Those nights she locked herself in her room, the way she avoided eye contact when I asked questions. I thought it was just rebellion. I thought I had time to figure her out later. But now it hit me like a sucker punch. I was out of time. And the guilt? Bro, it was eating me alive. I glanced at my brother lying there, fragile as glass hooked up to machines, and I felt this anger boiling. Anger at the situation, anger at myself for not noticing, and fear. Pure gut-wrenching fear that my own daughter might be involved in something I couldn't even imagine. And man, before I could spiral further, I had to check in with you guys. Yo, if you're still watching, comment below. What would you do if you saw warning signs and ignored them? Hit that subscribe button and smash the bell icon so you're part of this crazy journey. And tell me, do you prefer stories with shocking family secrets or crazy suspense twists? Back in the room, I knew I had to act fast. Something in my gut told me the next move I made could either save everything or ruin it all forever. Man, I'll never forget that stare. My daughter was standing by the bed, arms crossed, jaw tight, eyes locked on my brother like she was reading his soul, or maybe planning something. I felt it deep in my bones, that chill that tells you something's seriously wrong. I mean, this wasn't your normal teenage attitude. This was cold, calculating, like she had rehearsed it all. I took a step closer, trying to break through whatever wall she'd built. Look, kid, what's going on? You can't just say shit like that, I said, voice low but shaking. She didn't flinch, didn't even blink, and man, that quiet defiance hit me harder than a punch. I could feel my heart racing, my hands sweating. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to get her to spill the truth. But I also knew I had to play it smart. One wrong move and this night could spiral into something I couldn't control. Yo, real quick, where are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss stories like this. Also, tell me, would you confront your kids straight up or try to play it cool like me? Back in the room, I swallowed my fear and forced myself to stay calm. Something in me told me this wasn't just about my brother's health. It was about something bigger, something my daughter was hiding. And man, I had a feeling I was running out of time. Bro, the room got heavy, like damn near suffocating. My daughter didn't say another word, but her silence, man, it screamed louder than any whisper ever could. I could feel it pressing down on me, twisting my stomach into knots. I kept glancing at my brother, fighting for each shallow breath, and all I could think was, how did it get this bad? I tried to break the tension. Kid, talk to me, please. My voice cracked just a little, but she didn't move, didn't flinch. It was like she was daring me to push further, daring me to uncover what she didn't want me to see. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about her words. It was about control. She was testing me, seeing how far I'd go, and I realized something ugly. I wasn't ready for the storm she was about to unleash. Yo, quick shout out, if you're still tuned in, hit that like button. Drop a comment where you're watching from and smash that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And tell me, have you ever been in a moment where silence said more than words ever could? I know I have. And this was way worse. Back in the room, I could feel my chest tightening, heart hammering like a drum. I knew I had to act to push through this tension, but man, every move I made felt like stepping on a landmine. And deep down, I knew this night was far from over. The real truth? It was just about to start. Man, I tried to shake it off. I really did. Told myself it was just stress, just fear talking. Maybe even my imagination running wild. But nah, deep down I knew better. That whisper, that stare, the cold silence, it wasn't normal. Not for my kid, not ever. I kept pacing the room, hands in my hair, heart pounding like a bass drum at a concert. Every time I looked at her, I felt that same chill crawling up my spine. And I realized something scary. I wasn't just scared for my brother anymore. I was scared for everything. My house, my family, the life I thought I knew. I tried to distract myself, checking the monitors, asking the nurse random questions, but man, my brain kept circling back to her words. If he dies soon, it's better. I couldn't get it out of my head. My gut screamed, my heart begged me to act. But my brain kept stalling, like, do I confront her now or wait and risk everything blowing up later? Yo, quick question for you watching. Right now, ever been in a moment where your gut said something crazy but you ignored it? Drop it in the comments. And hey, if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest of this wild story. Also, tell me which part hits you harder, the hospital tension or the family betrayal? Back to me. I knew one thing for sure, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to dig deeper, get answers, and pray to God I wasn't walking straight into a nightmare I couldn't handle. Man, the more I stared at her, the more I realized she was hiding something. I don't mean little stuff, big stuff. Stuff that could flip my world upside down in a second. Her eyes weren't just cold. They were guarded, like a vault locked tight, and I could feel it. I wasn't getting in without a fight. I tried casual questions, small talk, anything to crack her wall. "What's on your mind, kiddo?" I asked, keeping my voice calm. But she just shrugged, barely looking at me, and muttered something about being tired. That's when my gut screamed bullshit. Something was going on behind that act, and I had no idea how deep it went. I glanced at my brother again, lying there pale and fragile, and I felt panic boiling in my chest. I couldn't lose him, not like this. Not while my own daughter was keeping secrets that might have made things worse. Yo, real quick, if you're watching this, comment below. Have you ever caught someone close to you hiding a secret that could hurt someone else? And don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell so you stay in the loop for the craziest stories out there. Also, which do you like more? Hospital drama or shocking family betrayals? Back in the room, I knew I had to dig deeper. I had to figure out what she was hiding before it was too late. The whispers, the silence, the stare. It was all adding up to something I wasn't ready to face. And deep down, I knew that once I uncovered it, nothing would ever be the same again. Man, that night everything fell apart. The air in the hospital room felt heavy, thick like it was trying to smother me. My daughter sat there silent, eyes darting, hands fidgeting like she was hiding something huge. And me? I was pacing, heart pounding, trying to piece together the puzzle before it crushed us all. I glanced at my brother. He was fading fast, every shallow breath making my chest tighten like a vice. And the whisper replayed in my head over and over. If he dies soon, it's better. I couldn't shake it. I wanted to scream, to shake her until she spilled the truth. But I forced myself to stay calm. One wrong move and, man, I didn't even want to think about the fallout. I pulled up a chair, sat close, and tried to read her face. And that's when I noticed it, tiny tells. The way her fingers tapped on her leg. The slight twitch in her lips. She was hiding something, and I was determined to find out what.
Yo, if you're watching right now,
hit that like button and comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest of this insane story. Also, tell me, would you confront your kid straight up or play it cool like I did? Back in the room, I leaned closer, whispering her name softly. Something told me that tonight, secrets would come spilling out whether she wanted them to or not. And man, I wasn't ready for the storm heading our way. Bro, I'll never forget those words. My daughter looked me dead in the eye and whispered, almost like a confession, "Dad, you don't get it. My chest tightened, heart hammering. I wanted to say something, anything, but my throat went dry. That one line, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I leaned in closer, voice low but firm, trying to get her to open up. Kid, I'm trying. Just talk to me, please. But she shook her head, eyes glinting with something I couldn't quite place. Fear, anger, or something darker. Whatever it was, I could feel it radiating off her like a cold wind, chilling me to the bone. Every instinct screamed at me. This wasn't just about my brother's health anymore. Something bigger, something twisted was brewing. I kept pacing the room, running scenarios in my head. Had I missed warning signs? Did I push too hard? Or not enough? My mind was racing, heart pounding, hands shaking. Yo, quick shout out to you guys. Watching, drop a comment. If your kid has ever said something that shook you to your core, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss wild stories like this. Also, tell me, would you push for the truth or wait like I did? Back to the story. I realized I couldn't ignore it any longer. Her words were a warning, a challenge, and maybe even a cry for something I couldn't yet understand, and man, I had a sinking feeling the next move I made would change everything forever. Man, I caught her in a lie. I didn't even have to look hard, just the way she avoided my gaze. The tiny twitch in her lips, the pause before she answered a question. Something felt off, and my gut screamed at me. She's hiding way more than you think, Dad. I tried to stay calm, keep it casual, but damn, it was tough. I asked her where she had been the day before. Just small talk stuff, and she said one thing. But the story didn't add up. My mind started spinning. Was this about my brother? Or was it about something else? Something I couldn't even wrap my head around yet? I leaned against the wall, heart racing, hands sweaty. Every instinct in me told me to push, to grab her, demand the truth. But I couldn't, at least not yet. I had to be smart. One wrong move and she'd clam up completely and I'd be in the dark forever. Yo, quick pause, if you're watching this, comment below if you've ever caught someone close to you lying and felt that gut punch of betrayal. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss how this story unfolds. And tell me, which hits harder, a lie or the truth you weren't ready to hear? Back in the room, I could feel tension building like a storm about to hit. The air felt thicker, heavier, and I knew it was only a matter of time before the real secrets came spilling out. And man, I wasn't sure if I was ready for what I was about to find. Man, I thought I had a handle on things. But then the nurse walked in and dropped a bombshell. She gave me this look, the one that says, "I know something you don't, and it's bad." My heart skipped a beat. "Sir, there's something you need to know about your brother's condition," she said, her voice low, careful. My stomach turned. I leaned closer, eyes wide, ready for anything. And then she said it. Something about unusual test results, some irregularities that didn't make sense. Something about how this could get worse fast if no one caught it in time. I felt my chest tighten. Fear slammed into me like a freight train, and I glanced at my daughter. She froze. That slight hesitation, that flicker in her eyes. I swear I could see guilt, fear, maybe even relief all rolled into one. Joe, quick check-in with you guys. Hit that like button if you're feeling the tension, and comment below. Have you ever had a moment where a small piece of info completely changed everything? Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you're caught up for all the twists in the story. Back to the story. I knew this wasn't just about my brother anymore. The nurse's words were the spark, the moment that made me realize how deep this went. And deep down, I knew that my daughter, she had a bigger part in this than I ever could have imagined. Man, the night was just getting started. Man, I barely had time to process the nurse's words before it happened. His condition, it took a turn. Fast. 1 second he was holding on, weak but steady. The next, alarms started screaming and I swear my heart skipped 10 beats. Machines were flashing, lights were blinking, and the room felt like it was collapsing in slow motion. I ran to his side, hands shaking, trying to keep him steady. My mind was racing a million miles an hour, and through all that chaos, my daughter, she stood frozen like she was watching a movie, not reality. I could feel my anger bubbling under the fear. What the hell is going on here? I wanted answers, and I wanted them now. I gripped her shoulder, shaking just a little. Kid, now's the time to tell me everything. I need the truth. She flinched, looked away, and for a moment, I thought she might finally break. But nah. Silence. That damn silence that screamed louder than words. Yo, real quick, if you're watching, comment below. Have you ever had a moment where someone's life hung in the balance and all you could do was pray? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss this crazy story unfold. And tell me, would you freak out like me or try to stay calm? Back in the room, I knew I had seconds to act, seconds that could change everything. And deep down I felt it. Whatever my daughter was hiding, it was about to come out, and man, I wasn't ready for it. Man, I couldn't take it anymore. My hands were shaking, heart pounding like a drum, and my brain was screaming at me, confront her now. I stepped closer to my daughter, eyes locked on hers, and tried to keep my voice steady. Kid, enough. I need the truth, everything now. She looked at me, and for a second, I thought she might crumble. But nah, that cold stare stayed. I could feel my frustration boiling over. A mix of fear, anger, and heartbreak all tangled up inside me. I had spent years protecting her, guiding her, and now it felt like she was the one keeping us all on the edge of disaster. I leaned closer, voice low but firm. You can't sit there and say things like that. Kiddo, while he's fighting for his life. Talk to me. Don't make me guess. Her eyes flickered, just a tiny shift, and I felt it, the first crack in the wall she'd built. Yo, quick shout out to you guys watching. Drop a comment if you've ever had a confrontation with someone you love and felt your world shift in seconds. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss every twist in this wild story. Also tell me, would you go full confrontation or try to read them like I'm doing? Back in the ICU, I knew this was it. The moment everything would either come crashing down or finally start making sense. And deep down I had this gut feeling. The truth she'd been hiding, man, it was bigger than I ever imagined. Man, I finally saw it, a crack. My daughter's eyes welled up, and I thought for a split second, she was about to spill everything. I leaned in, heart racing, praying this was the moment the truth came out. Talk to me, kid. I'm right here, I whispered, trying to keep my voice calm. She took a shaky breath, lips quivering. I didn't mean it, Dad, she said. But something in the way she said it didn't sit right. Her eyes darted, not fully meeting mine, like she was measuring what to reveal and what to hide. Man, I realized quickly this wasn't full honesty, not even close. I swallowed hard. My chest felt tight. Every instinct screamed at me, she's hiding something bigger. And that's when fear hit harder than ever. This wasn't just about my brother's health anymore. This was about my family, my daughter, and a secret that could destroy everything if I didn't get ahead of it. Yo, quick shout out to you watching. Comment below if you've ever thought someone was telling the truth, but felt the lie hiding underneath. And smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, do you think honesty comes naturally? Or do people hide way too much? Back in the room, I could feel tension building like a storm about to explode. Her partial confession only made the mystery darker, the stakes higher, and deep down, I knew one wrong move and the fallout could ruin everything we had left. Man, this night was far from over. Man, I couldn't ignore it anymore. My gut screamed that something was off. And then I noticed it, her phone, lying on the edge of the bed, screen lighting up with messages she thought I wouldn't see. I tried to act casual, but my heart was hammering. Every instinct told me, check it now. I grabbed it just enough to scroll without her noticing. And damn, what I found hit me like a brick wall. Messages, texts, even some deleted ones, all pointing to things I couldn't believe. Plans, warnings, secrets, stuff that made my blood run cold. My own daughter, keeping secrets that could have changed everything in a heartbeat. She glanced at me, panic flickering in her eyes for a split second. I knew she'd been caught, but even then she didn't explain, didn't defend herself. Just that stare, cold, calculating, like she was trying to measure how far she could push me. Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever found something on someone's phone that made your stomach drop? And don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss this insane story unravel. Also, would you confront them immediately or wait for the right moment like I did? Back in the room, my chest was tight, adrenaline pumping. The pieces were finally coming together, but man, the truth behind those messages? It was darker than anything I could have imagined. And deep down I knew there was no turning back now. The night had just hit its peak and chaos was about to unfold. Man, as I went through those messages, it hit me like a freaking truck. Every text, every deleted note, every cryptic little emoji suddenly made sense. My daughter wasn't just hiding small stuff. She was holding back the kind of truth that could have wrecked everything. My chest tightened, stomach dropping, and I felt rage and fear collide in a way I've never felt before. I'd pieced together her conversations with people I didn't know, plans she had kept from me, little hints she thought were invisible. And slowly, painfully, it started to click. She had been manipulating things behind the scenes, testing the waters, seeing how far she could go without getting caught. My own kid, my flesh and blood, and I was stunned. I looked at her, heart hammering, and she avoided my gaze like a pro. That's when I realized I wasn't ready for the full truth. Whatever was coming next was going to be huge, and I had to brace myself. Yo, quick shout out to everyone watching. Drop a comment if you've ever had a moment where the truth hit harder than any lie ever could. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to catch every twist in this wild story. Also tell me, what would you do if someone you love had been scheming behind your back? Back in the room, I could feel the weight of the night pressing down. The whispers, the cold stares, the hidden messages, it all led to one thing, a truth so shocking, so raw. It could destroy everything if I didn't handle it right. And man, I knew I was standing on the edge of chaos. Then I stared at her, heart hammering, mind racing. Could I trust her? Could I trust anyone in this damn room? My daughter's eyes flicked up, avoiding mine, but I could see the tiniest hint of guilt creeping in. Every instinct in me screamed, she's hiding more than you realize. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my voice. Kid, everything's on the line. I need the truth, all of it. No more games. My hands were shaking, but I forced myself to stay calm. Because if I freaked out now, man, who knows what would happen next. She flinched slightly and I could feel it. She wanted to tell me, but fear was stronger than courage. I knew then that this wasn't just about what she said in whispers. It was bigger, way bigger, and it was on me to navigate it, to figure out how far this rabbit hole went before everything imploded. Yo, quick pause, comment below if you've ever been in a situation where you didn't know who to trust, and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss how this wild story unfolds. Also, would you confront someone immediately or wait and gather evidence? Like I'm trying to do. Back in the room, I felt tension crawling up my spine like electricity. The whispers, the stares, the hidden messages, they were all pieces of a puzzle. And I knew the moment I put them together, the truth would hit hard. and nothing would ever be the same again. Man, this was the calm before the storm. Man, the truth started unfolding like a damn horror flick. Piece by piece, my daughter's secrets spilled into my mind, twisting reality into something I could barely recognize. The texts, the whispers, the looks, they all connected, painting a picture darker than anything I imagined. I felt my chest tighten, heart hammering like a drum. How could my own kid, the one I raised, be wrapped up in something so messed up? Fear, anger, and heartbreak collided inside me, and I could barely breathe. My hands shook, and I caught myself pacing the room like a man on the edge of losing it completely. Every glance at her, every twitch, every half-smile, it all screamed the truth I didn't want to face. And man, I realized this wasn't just about her anymore. It was about my brother, our family, and everything we'd built together. One wrong move, one slip, and it could all go up in flames. Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below if you've ever had a moment where someone you love hid a secret so dark it shook you to your core. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, what would you do if the person hiding it was your own kid? Back in the room, the tension was unbearable. Every second dragged, every breath felt heavy. I knew the night wasn't over. Whatever was coming next, man, it was going to change everything. And deep down, I knew we were about to hit the point of no return. Man, I almost lost it. My chest was tight, hands shaking, and my mind was screaming a million things at once. Everything in me wanted to yell, to shake her, to demand the truth like a man losing control. But I knew if I did, I'd push her further away, and man, I couldn't afford that. She sat there calm on the surface, but I could see the tiny tremor in her fingers, the flicker of guilt in her eyes. That little crack, it was enough to make me realize I had to stay composed. Deep breath, Dad, deep breath. Don't blow this. But damn, my heart was racing and I felt every second stretching into eternity. One more slip from her, one more lie, and I wasn't sure I'd keep it together. This was bigger than me, bigger than her, bigger than all of us combined. Yo, quick shout out to you guys watching. Comment below if you've ever been in a moment where patience was the hardest thing in the world. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, would you stay calm like I tried or blow up like I almost did? Back in the room, I forced myself to slow down, focus, and watch her like a hawk. Every glance, every small move mattered. The night was far from over, and I knew whatever came next would push me to my limit. Man, the storm wasn't just coming, it was already here. Man, the moment I'd been waiting for finally came, and it hit me like a gut punch. My daughter's lips trembled, and she started spilling things I wasn't ready to hear. Every word made my stomach twist, every sentence made my chest tighten. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. I had to hear it all. She confessed little things first, things that seemed small but made my gut churn. And then, the bigger stuff, the secrets, the lies, the schemes she'd been hiding piece by piece. I felt like I was drowning in disbelief. My own kid, my flesh and blood, wrapped up in this madness right under my nose. I gritted my teeth, trying not to shout, trying not to lose it. My heart pounded, my hands shook, and every instinct screamed at me, fix it now. But how? How do you fix something that's been going on behind your back for who knows how long? Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever heard a confession from someone close that made you physically sick? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the full story. And tell me, would you react like me or walk away to process it first? Back in the room, I realized the night was far from over. Every confession peeled back another layer of deception, and I knew one thing for sure. Nothing would ever be the same again. And man, the fallout from this was only getting started. Man, it hit me like a freight train. The real reason behind her behavior, the hidden motive she'd been keeping from me, all came out in one crazy revelation. My daughter looked at me, eyes wide, and said something I'll never forget. Something that changed the whole game. I couldn't believe it at first. I wanted to scream, laugh, cry, all at once. My brain was spinning, heart pounding, and my hands were shaking. How could she do something like this without me knowing? Every instinct in me screamed that I had to act, but I also had to stay calm. One wrong move and everything could collapse. She told me about a deal she'd made. Some choices she thought were better for everyone, but that had twisted everything upside down, and man, when I processed it, my chest tightened so bad I thought I'd pass out. My own daughter thinking she was protecting someone, but really, she was walking us all straight into chaos. Yo, quick pause if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever had someone close make a choice you couldn't even wrap your head around? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay caught up on the full story. Also tell me, would you forgive a loved one for a deal gone wrong or hold them accountable like I had to? Back in the room, I realized there was no turning back. The night had reached a point of no return. Every secret, every whisper, every hidden message had led to this. And deep down, I knew the next moments would decide everything. Man, I was running on pure rage and fear. My chest was tight, heart hammering like crazy. And every nerve in my body screamed at me, do something before it's too late. I couldn't just sit there. My brother's life, my family, it all hung by a thread. I paced the room, fists clenched, trying to figure out my next move. My daughter stood there silent, eyes flicking nervously, and I could feel the tension between us crackling like static electricity. Every instinct told me she had more to reveal, but I didn't have the patience anymore. I had to act fast. I leaned over my brother, checking monitors, making sure he was stable while my mind raced. Every beep, every machine sound felt like a countdown, and man, I knew if I didn't move, if I hesitated for even a second, things could go south real fast. Yo, quick shout out if you're watching. Comment below if you've ever had to make split-second decisions while fear and anger collided. And hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest of this insane story. Also, tell me, would you freeze or fight when everything you care about is on the line? Back in the room, I could feel the storm inside me building, every second pushing me closer to breaking point. The whispers, the lies, the secrets, they had led us here, and deep down, I knew the next move I made would either save everything or destroy it all. Man, the night was far from over. Man, I'll never forget my brother's final words. Weak, shaky, barely audible through the beeping machines, but damn, they hit me harder than anything ever could. He looked at me, eyes full of pain but also trust, and whispered something that made my chest tighten like a vice. Take care of her. She's scared, he said, voice fading. My heart nearly stopped. My daughter, scared? That one line hit me like a gut punch. Everything I thought I knew about the night, about her, about this whole mess, it shifted in an instant. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I swallowed them. I had to stay strong, had to process the chaos around me and make sense of the madness. My daughter stood there, face pale, and I finally saw it, fear, guilt, confusion. She wasn't just cold or calculating, she was lost. And I hadn't noticed because I was too caught up in my own panic and anger. Yo, quick pause for you watching. Comment below if someone's words ever completely changed the way you saw a situation. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, have you ever realized someone you thought was heartless was actually just scared? Back in the room, I realized the night had revealed a lot. Secrets, whispers, lies, but also truths. And deep down, I knew this was the turning point. My brother's words would haunt me, guide me, and maybe even save us if I could finally figure out how to reach my daughter. Man, this was just the beginning of understanding. Man, it finally clicked. The reason behind my daughter's behavior, the whispers, the hidden messages, everything, it all made sense in one horrifying moment. My brain spun as the pieces fell together. She hadn't been cruel, not exactly. She'd been scared, cornered, trying to protect someone she loved in her own messed up way. I felt anger, frustration, and relief all at once. How could she think this was the answer? How could my kid carry such a heavy secret without telling me? My chest was tight, heart pounding like a drum, but I realized I had to stay calm. I had to guide her, not push her further into fear. She looked at me, eyes brimming with tears, finally letting a little of the truth slip. "Dad, I thought it was better if—" she started, voice breaking. I could feel the weight of the night, the tension, the fear we'd all carried. Everything we'd been through was coming to a head in that tiny ICU room. Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever realized someone you love was acting out of fear rather than malice? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss how this story wraps up. Also tell me, would you forgive or hold them accountable first? Back in the room, I knew the truth behind her actions didn't erase the fear, the secrets, or the chaos, but it gave me a way forward. And deep down, I realized that understanding her motive was the first step towards saving both my brother and my family, man. This night wasn't over yet. Man, I knew I had to calm the situation before it completely blew up. My chest was tight, heart hammering, but yelling or losing my cool wouldn't fix anything. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to slow down. "Kid, look at me," I said softly. "I need you to trust me now. We're in this together." Her eyes flickered, doubt and fear mixing with something softer, maybe hope. I could feel the tension crack just a little. For the first time that night, it felt like a tiny bridge was forming between us. I had to tread carefully. One wrong move and everything could go south. I gently took her hand, feeling the slight tremor. "I know you were scared. I know you thought you were doing the right thing. But hiding stuff like that, it almost destroyed us. I need you to be honest with me, fully." Her lips quivered, and I could see her taking in every word, weighing them, feeling the weight of the night. Yo, quick shout out if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever had a moment where trust had to be rebuilt in seconds? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the rest of this intense story. Also tell me, how would you handle a situation where fear made someone do something dangerous? Back in the ICU room, I realized this was the turning point. Calm words, patience, and trust were my only weapons now. The night had been chaos, but man, this was our chance to start repairing what nearly shattered. Man, I knew I had to guide her now. The fear, the whispers, the hidden messages, they all led to this moment. I couldn't fix the past, but I could steer the present. "Kid, we're gonna face this together," I said, voice calm but firm. "No more hiding. No more running. We do this right, okay?" Her eyes met mine, a mixture of guilt and relief washing over her face. I could see the weight she'd been carrying slowly lifting just a little. It wasn't complete yet, but damn, it was progress. One step at a time. I walked her through the consequences of her actions, making sure she understood the danger she'd put herself and our family in. My brother's condition, the hospital, the fear we'd all felt. It wasn't a lecture, but a reality check. And man, she listened. Really listened. I could feel a shift, like the ice around her heart was cracking. Yo, quick shout out if you're watching. Comment below if you've ever had to guide someone you love through a tough truth. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, how would you handle someone you care about realizing the weight of their choices? Back in the room, I knew this was more than just an explanation. It was about rebuilding trust, repairing bonds, and making sure we survived the night together, man. The night had been hell, but for the first time I could see a glimmer of hope. Man, it finally happened. She spilled it all, the full truth, every secret she'd been holding back. I could feel my chest tighten, my heart hammering, but I stayed still, letting her words sink in. It was like watching a storm finally break, releasing everything that had built up inside her. She told me about every decision, every plan she'd made, every fear that had driven her to act the way she did. And man, it wasn't about cruelty. It was about fear, love, and desperation. She thought she was protecting someone, but in doing so, she almost destroyed everything. My mind was spinning. Anger, relief, heartbreak, all at once. I kept my voice calm, even though inside I felt like exploding. "Thank you for telling me," I said. "Now we can fix this. Together." She nodded, tears streaming, and for the first time that night, I felt a sense of connection, a small bridge forming between us again. Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever had someone finally tell the truth after hiding it for a long time? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the final twists. And tell me, would you forgive and guide or hold them accountable first? Back in the room, I realized the night's chaos was finally winding down. Secrets had been revealed. Trust was beginning to rebuild. And though the road ahead would be tough, man, we had a chance to survive this together. Man, the chaos was finally slowing, and I could feel the weight of the night starting to lift. Just a little. My daughter sat there, tears dried but eyes still full of guilt and fear. I knew we had a long road ahead, but for the first time in hours, it felt like we could start picking up the pieces. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. "Kid, we've been through hell tonight, but I need you to know we're gonna figure this out together." She nodded slowly, and I saw a flicker of trust, like a tiny spark fighting through the darkness. It wasn't complete, not even close, but man, it was something. I checked on my brother, who was stable for now, and felt a rush of relief. We'd survived the worst of the night, and though scars would remain, we had a shot at healing. My daughter and I talked quietly, step by step, breaking down the walls her fear had built. Patience, understanding, and honesty, the only weapons left to repair the bonds nearly shattered. Yo, quick check-in if you're watching. Comment below. Have you ever had to rebuild trust after chaos hit hard? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell me, how would you start mending broken bonds after a crisis? Back in the room, I realized the night had tested us in every way imaginable. Fear, anger, betrayal, it was all there, but man, facing it together gave me hope that no matter what happened, we could survive and come out stronger. Man, the night was finally over. The chaos, the fear, the secrets, the whispers, they'd all passed, leaving a heavy calm in their wake. I sat there exhausted, chest still tight but a little lighter, watching my daughter and brother resting. For the first time, I felt hope creeping in. My daughter looked at me, eyes filled with tears, guilt, and something else, relief. Relief that the truth was out, that we were still standing, still together. I reached out, holding her hand gently. "We made it through, kid, together, and now we start over. Clean slate." She nodded, letting herself lean on me, and man, it hit me how fragile life really is, and how even mistakes driven by fear can be forgiven if honesty and love guide you. I glanced at my brother, steady now, and felt a surge of gratitude. We'd survived the storm barely, and though scars would remain, we'd learned something crucial. Communication, patience, and trust can save what almost got lost forever. Yo, quick shout out to everyone watching. Drop a comment if you've ever faced a night that changed everything. And smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss more stories that push the limits of fear, trust, and love. Back in the room, I realized this was more than survival. It was growth, understanding, and the start of healing. Man, The night had tested us to our core, but dawn had come, and for the first time in forever, I felt like maybe, just maybe, we were okay.